Hello once again and welcome back to Trails from Zero. It's been a few weeks, 3, 4, I'm not sure. Anything happen in that time period? Oh, that's right, the game came out. So I wanted to let it breathe a little while and let everyone play it. I've also been kind of burnt out. The week leading up to release and the week after were very hectic. We've been very busy receiving feedback and things like that. As you may know, I've been making any text corrections that people send my way. You can do that. You can send it to me on Twitter or Discord, wherever is best for you. And Jose and Ribos have been working on some technical bugs that we did not catch in testing that are a bit more obscure. And I guess I should apologize to anyone who's had trouble playing the game on Intel graphics, because we didn't realize how badly the game struggled if you didn't play it on a dedicated GPU. That's been the biggest thing, and I believe there's some fixes coming down the pipe in the future. I just don't know when, because I'm not really in charge of that. But whenever that happens and we put out an official update for the game, text updates will happen too. We have not rebuilt the scenario yet, but the version I'm on, I think, is ahead of you guys. I do have some fixes that they've been doing in the background, because I believe the public one's 1.01, and we do have a 1.02 build in our dev channel. What that entails, I'm not entirely sure. I think I have some weird fixes to things that I don't really even understand, but I don't think my version of the scenario has been updated, so we might still see this stray text bug every now and then, or something that's a little weird, or a typo. A lot of it's been fixed. Anything that anyone sent me as of right now has been fixed, and there have been a lot of repeats, obviously, but I've been keeping up to date on that. Basically, if you have any problems, you can submit your issues, your tickets on geofront.assyria.net, which I would honestly suggest for like bigger things. If you're having some kind of major bug, we know of Intel problems, we know of the memory leak. Some of you might have seen. We've always known that if you play the game for too long, or especially if you do it at high reses, that sometimes the game will just like freak out after a few hours, and like textures will stop loading, and your save menu might disable for a while. And we just tell people, close the game, reload your last autosave as quickly as possible. That can happen at a lot of resolutions, but I know it can happen at really high ones. And we're not entirely sure what it does it, or maybe Jose and Ribos have figured it out. I think that's been like the biggest thing Jose was working on at first, but I think it has something to do with, like, because the game's 32-bit and we were reloading some textures that are like PNGs converted to ITP, that it was causing problems. I don't entirely understand it. It's way above my head, but I think it's going to be better in the future. So with that out of the way, oh right, one other thing I want to talk about. So those of you who've watched the channel and have watched it for a long time, and you watch it all the way to the end, you know that I run a Patreon on my YouTube, and those of you who are on it, thank you very much. But I've had a couple of people join it in the past few weeks, citing Trails from Zero, and I've had to refund them, because we're not supposed to take monetary compensation for the game, and I don't encourage anyone to join that because of Trails from Zero. If you like me and you like what I do here, then awesome. But if you're doing it because it's like, oh, I want to thank you from Trails from Zero, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. I think only like myself, Floofy runs a Twitch channel, so you can subscribe to her there. But generally we tell people like, no, we don't want compensation for Zero. And not just because of like, we don't want to get into like legal trouble. I don't know if we could. But it's also because, like, ethically, we're like, no, that's not the way we want to do things. So if you tried to do that, or you thought about doing that, thank you, but spend it somewhere else. Especially with, what's been going on in the world this first half of early 2020. Maybe you could do something better with that, to be perfectly honest. Now we can move on. So we last left off, we are looking into the downtown incident, in where the Saber Vipers and the Testaments are about to go at war with one another. And we just got done talking with Wazi Hemisphere and the Testaments. Now we got to go into Ignis and talk to Vald Valles. You again. We already told you. Vault's never gonna talk to a bunch of dogs like you. Get the hell out of here. This might end up being a bit of a problem. Gotta admit, for a delinquent, he's a cute, bright-eyed kid. Hey there, may I have your name, please? Me? I'm Dino. So you're Dino, I see. You're tasked with keeping watch in case any suspicious individuals try to enter, right? That's right. Vault personally assigned this job to me. I can't have any of those Testament jerks breaking in here. I definitely wasn't forced into this post by the other members. That makes sense. It's a very important job. But we aren't members of the Testaments, correct? There shouldn't be any problems for you to let us in, right? I'm gonna change that second one. But I saw you messing with the rest of our guys just now. If I let you in... Yes, we may have engaged in combat with them, but a spar that small is basically a greeting to your men, right? Besides, your boss has already long moved on from the issue. But... if you still aren't willing to trust us, then... What? What are you doing, Ellie? What is the meaning of this? Here, take it. You can hold on to my pistol while we go inside. This is incredibly precious to me. I hope you'll take good care of it until I return. Fine. You can stop already. You don't have to take it this far. I'll go and ask Vault if you can enter. Better not sneak in while I'm gone. Damn, that was a ballsy move. I was utterly frightened for a moment. That was impressive, Ellie. I don't think I'd be able to pull off a negotiation like that. I'm quite familiar with these situations, so feel free to rely on me. I don't think that approach would work on someone like Vault, though. You'd be better off speaking to him in a similar manner as you did with Wazi. Yeah, I know. Thanks. Vault gave you the okay for you to enter. I'll let you in, but if I catch you trying to pull any funny business, you're finished. Probably, Arfin. Thank you. If you'll excuse us, then. Thanks, Dino. Dino's like the puppy dog of the team. Not exactly what I was expecting. It's too noisy. I agree, this is like my least favorite song in the game. You were right. They turned it into a music venue. Damn, they actually transformed this dusty old building into a hangout spot? I'm impressed. Huh, I was waiting for you to show up. You've got some stones if you think you can just walk in here. I can't believe you guys actually showed up. You got a death wish or something? Looks like those blue bastards told you most of the details already. What are you here for then? You gonna arrest us? Not at all. We were hoping to ask for your cooperation in our investigation. If you don't mind, why exactly do you want to destroy the Testaments? We've heard their side of the story, so we'd like to hear yours now. Huh? Why? Is the Testament's testimony not sufficient enough to explain their feud? No, it's not. The truth can easily change depending on who you talk to and what they claim they saw. The actual truth can only be brought to light once everyone's account has been thoroughly cross-examined and scrutinized. Doing so is one of my duties as a detective. Well, when you put it like that, it makes sense. So essentially, we need to analyze the case from various angles, correct? You're a weirdo, that's for sure. Wouldn't it make things a hell of a lot easier to just assume we're the baddies? What the hell are you saying, Vault? Listen up, you punk-ass detective. Even if I did have the info you're looking for and was willing to give it up, what's in it for me? Well, I'm guessing you won't be satisfied with just learning the truth. Hell no, I won't. See, I'm the kind of guy who lives off of wrecking stuff and causing uproars. How about this? If you can cool down my bloodlust right here, right now, I'll spill the beans. Are you out of your mind? Figures. Let's have ourselves a little brawl. My gang versus yours. Kick our asses, and you'll get all the info you need. Not a bad deal, right? We aren't going to fight you, Vald. Self-defense is a different story, but willingly participating in meaningless fights is out of the question. No need to be such a killjoy, kid. If you're that afraid of getting pummeled, how about you just leave the two ladies here instead? You're pushing your luck. For real, boss? I don't know. Isn't that kind of scummy? Shut up, you morons. What's the big deal? Just leave him with us for the next 2 hours while the two of you go on a little walk. Do it, and I'll tell you everything. Sound good? Actually, I have a better idea. Me and you, Vald. There shouldn't be anything wrong with the friendly scrimmage. If I win, you tell me everything you know about the case. Is that good enough for you? Wait, Lloyd, is that really a good idea? Damn, dude. A reckless idea, I must say. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Red over there looks like he'd stand a chance, but you look like a twig compared to me. As I said, I'm a detective. I've been through some pretty intense training. I doubt I'll lose to some 2-bit street delinquent like you. Didn't think there'd be another guy stupid enough to challenge me to a fight. Sure, kid. I'll accept your fight. I'm Vald Valles, the Demon Smasher, and leader of the Saber Vipers. If you think you can take me down, then show me what you got. Unfortunately for you, I'm in New Game Plus. Otherwise, this would be a pretty tough fight in New Game, especially if you're playing on Nightmare. Oh, you survived. Ouch. So if I can move the camera a little bit, you see that Vald's weapon's like a wooden sword wrapped in a chain. That's about all I got. Good old Vald. That was easy. No way! He won? Damn, dude, way to go! How about that? Looks like you ain't all talk after all. I wasn't expecting you to be able to keep me busy like that. Vald, are you okay? Damn you, you'll pay for that! Shut up, you dumbasses. This guy's a real monster. Either way, not bad for a warm-up round. For a second there, I considered going all out, but my showdown with that pretty boy's almost here, so I'll let you off the hook this time. How thoughtful of you. So, mind filling us in on the details of the incident now? Sure, whatever. It all happened 5 nights ago. One of my boys was ambushed by one of those blue bastards. Happened not too far away from Ignis, too. Wait, what? What happened afterwards? Well, those cowards claimed that one of their own was attacked the same way. Of course, that's just something they pulled out of their asses. Us Saber Vipers like to throw down, but we fight like men. You really think we'd bitch out and jump somebody in the dark? How badly was your guy hurt? Beaten till bones started to fracture. He's in the hospital now. Said it'll be a month or so till he's fully recovered. And unlike the blue bastard, he didn't pass out right after the pummeling started. He took a hell of a worse beating than him, that's for sure. I see. You guys definitely sure the testaments are the perps? You said he didn't pass out immediately, right? Can't he give us his testimony? Hold on a second. Did he even see the attackers at all? Guess not. But it was definitely those blue bastards. I bet my life on it. After all, he was sniped by one of their rocks. A rock? Are you referring to the stones they launched with their slingshots? Damn right I am. The shot knocked the wind out of him, so the cowards took the chance to rush in and kick his ass. He hung on for a bit, but not for long. Isn't it obvious who's the culprit now? That's all I got to tell you. I said it before and I'll say it again. I couldn't care less about the details. I'm going to put an end to him and his blue bastards. Nothing else matters at this point. Want to interfere? Be my guest. Just know that in the end, I'm going to crush every single one of those blue bastards. You made your point, Vald. Anyway, thanks for your cooperation. I'm sure your testimony will be key in solving this case. We'll contact you if we discover any new leads, okay? Knock yourself out, kid. Later, Vald. I am quite confused. Members of both groups were assaulted. Is it possible they were being untruthful? I did not suspect they were lying, though. Is something the matter? What, did you take some damage from the fight? Huh? Oh, no, that's not it. I'm fine. He was going easy on me. I was thinking that something doesn't add up. How so? Well, 5 nights ago, members of both groups were assaulted at the same time, but in different locations. Even if they had coincidentally attacked each other simultaneously. With this many people involved, how likely would it be for them to be oblivious of each other's movements? Oh, no kidding. Neither of them are pros at covert operations. The chances of that are slim as hell. What if one group was ambushed and then retaliated in kind? That wouldn't explain it either. They would have taken precautionary measures to avoid facing retaliation from the enemy. Not to mention, both sides had supposedly been ambushed. Isn't that right, Lloyd? Yeah, there's definitely something going on behind the scenes. We're still missing the most critical piece of this puzzle. Looks like you guys could use a hand. Aren't you the reporter from the Crossbell Times? Howdy everyone, we meet again. Cha-ching! Just scored myself a money shot. This is an infringement on our right to privacy. I can't help it. Take pictures for as long as I have and your camera develops a mind of its own. Who knows? Maybe I'll feature you in my next article. You guys should take what you can get. I don't think it works that way. We read the nasty article you recently wrote about us. Do you intend to make a mockery of us again? What can I say? You guys seem to be a hit with the readers. More importantly, I see you managed to drag some juicy information out of those hoodlums. I've actually been conducting a little investigation of my own, so how about it? Here to share the goods with your friend here? I'll take you out for a nice meal in return as a thanks for all the lovely reference material you've been giving me. My treat. No? What makes you think we'd be willing to share classified information with a civilian? Let alone someone working for the media. Oh, phooey. Don't sweat the details. And here I was, thinking that I could treat everyone to some great Eastern cuisine. And offer you the critical piece of the puzzle for dessert. What's that supposed to mean? So that's what you're playing at. Trying to reel us in with the old give and take. Bingo. I'll be a long while Tavern and Inn near the East Street exit. Don't be shy now. I'll head there first and drink all by my lonesome until you arrive. Come to think of it, I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? I'm Grace Lynn, a reporter from the Crossbell Times. Think of me as the older sister you never had. Grace Lynn, a reporter from the Crossbell Times. Her offer sounds shady, but damn, that's one fine carrot dangling from her stick. Might be worth seeing what her deal is. Yeah. I'd like to hear what information she has to offer, but I'm not interested in her bribery attempt. We can't rely on headquarters to assist us, so we should take any help we can get for the investigation. Indeed, I'd imagine her curiosity as a reporter has led her to research the matter extensively. We'd better be careful to not let any sensitive information slip from our mouths. I agree. She gave off the impression that she was ready to pounce the moment any of us slipped. Ouch. Talk about a harsh assessment. Dino just magically appears the second the cutscene is over. How convenient. So we popped in here once before, right? Long Lao Tavern and Inn. Hello. Isn't there any place around here that has cheap rent? Did I already do this? I think I did. It's been a while. Please forgive me. Alright, Grace, let's see what you got to say. I knew you'd come crawling to me. Don't be shy now. Have a seat. I'll treat you all to a nice dinner. Well, that's awfully kind of you. We'll have to respectfully decline the dinner. How about we stick to exchanging information? Boo, you're no fun. Or are you trying to make a statement that you're pervious to bribes, unlike the upper echelons of the CPD? What exactly are you implying here? Hey man, speak for yourself. I'll gladly scope out that free meal, man. I would also accept so long as you aren't scheming to make us owe you. It's probably okay. I don't see the harm in sharing a casual meal together. You too, Ellie? You're the only one worried about some kind of moral conflict, Lloyd. How are you going to become a pro detective if you act like such a prude all the time? Alright, I get it already. But I'm forbidding you all from drinking. As long as you abide by this one rule, we'll accept your offer. This is delectable. The chef here is highly skilled. This food is most satisfying. Though it's kind of hard to savor something this tasty without a good drink. Come on, Lloyd, don't be such a hard ass. One sip ain't gonna kill me, you know? Absolutely not. You know we're still technically on duty, right? We have to keep our wits about us at all times. Yeah, whatever. Our leader's as stubborn as a damn mule. On the contrary, Randy, are you not the one who is far too nonchalant? I'm going to have to agree with them. Drinking on the job is highly inappropriate. Oh, you guys are so entertaining. Your personalities are wildly different, yet you fit together perfectly, almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Heck, you're basically a well-oiled machine now. Flattery will get you nothing. So how about we get back to the topic at hand? We've told you everything we know about the incident that occurred in the downtown district. I seem to recall you mentioning that you had the missing piece to the puzzle earlier. Isn't it about time you filled us in on it? And what if I told you that I don't wanna? Good luck ever getting us to trust you again. Not only that, but it'd be the last time we talk. Ever. Oh, calm down, I was just messing with you. Though I gotta say, you can be pretty charming when you're serious. It's a nice contrast to your boyish looks. I hate to admit it, but you've caught my attention. Okay guys, how about we get back to work? Yes, that sounds fine by me. I appreciate the meal. Whoa, hold your horses, people. I'll cut the crap and get straight to the details, okay? Where do I begin? Okay, have you guys ever heard of a group named Ravach? Oh, that name again. Guys, what's with the blank look on your faces? Ravach & Co. I believe there's a business in Crossbell registered under that name. Heh, that's all they appear to be on a quick surface level examination. The truth of the matter is that they're actually Crossbell's mafia. They've been controlling our dark underworld for a long time. By mafia, do you mean that they're a criminal organization? Makes sense. I've definitely heard rumors about them on the streets. I'm guessing you two are already informed on their existence, huh? Yeah. It's pretty hard to be in the dark about them if you're Crossbellan. Their organization has a vast network of connections with important people. I've heard they've got strong ties deep within the government, so the police can't take any serious actions against them. Interesting. The underbelly of society's pretty much identical no matter where you go, huh? So, why the mention of Ravach? Are they involved with the incident? Oh, you betcha. Ravach's members have been engaged in some rather shady business lately. They've been working their behinds off, almost as if they're anxious to complete some kind of plan. So anyway, being the investigative guru I am, I decided to spend some time sinking my teeth into this potentially juicy scoop. So you say that the Mafia is working harder than usual? This certainly sounds ominous. I have a terrible feeling about this. Is that why you decided to visit the downtown district then? What? Bingo, my friend. About 2 weeks ago, one of my sources provided me with some intel on members of the Mafia snooping around downtown. They were dressed like civilians, probably to try and conceal their identities. Doesn't that smell awfully fishy to you? Yeah, it definitely stinks. Agreed. Something feels out of place. Oh yeah, I already fixed this four-liner. Right. It seems a little too obvious that they're planning something. It's no coincidence that both of the delinquent groups simultaneously started antagonizing each other. That would make Ravach a likely suspect for puppeteering the whole incident. I am confused about something though. For what reasons does a criminal organization require delinquent groups to antagonize each other? Right, that's the million mirror question. It makes sense that they already harbored a grudge against one another. Uh-huh. And as far as I know, they don't have a rocky relationship, and I've never heard of any serious conflicts between them. Quite frankly, all three groups are savages. Those Mafia dudes are way more threatening than the others, though. The weird part is, Ravach doesn't have any conflicts of interest with the other two groups. I don't see the need for them to be fighting. What if one of them formed an alliance with the Mafia to off their rival group once and for all? Going by this assumption, it's not exactly surprising that the culprits would play the role of the victim. You bring up a good point, but do they really need to take it that far? Yeah, I didn't get the impression that Wazi and Vald were on bad terms with each other. If anything, I felt like they held each other in high regard. Wowza, Lloyd, that was an astute observation. From what I've gathered, Wazi and Vald are rivals, but they hold a mutual respect for one another. So at first, Vald and the Saber Vipers were the only gang in the downtown district. However, that all changed 2 years ago. Wazi showed up out of nowhere and established the Testaments. And we all know how Vald is, so he obviously went to put Wazi in his place, but, Wazi took him down? Yepers, he sure did. Despite his charming looks and small frame, Wazi's a skilled martial artist. I'd heard he managed to take Vald by surprise with his lightning-quick moves, and pinned him to the ground. Wow. I was not expecting that. That cute little dude's freakishly strong? Color me surprised. No kidding, but I don't think Vald's a pushover either. He was a little too careless that one time. They fought a number of times since, but they're at a stalemate, supposedly. I think that's precisely why they respect each other, though. That makes perfect sense. I see why they consider each other rivals. Suppose that rules out any likelihood that either of them formed an alliance with the Mafia to crush each other. Agreed. They're both worshipped by their respective gangs, so I doubt their subordinates were acting independently. This can really only mean one thing. Whoopsies. I may have divulged a little more information than I should have. Huh? How do you mean? Anyway, I've got other interviews to conduct, so I'm gonna take off. Kick some butt with that investigation so I can write me a good story later. Toodles! She sure has an interesting way of handling things. But regardless, we were able to obtain some highly valuable information thanks to her. Yeah, knowing that the Mafia is likely involved with this mess is a huge leap forward in our investigation. Now the real question is, why did the Mafia get themselves involved with their affairs? This is going to be a tough one to figure out with the limited evidence we have right now. The police database does not appear to have any relevant information either. I believe it is locked behind multiple levels of authorization. So it's classified info, huh? It makes sense, considering whose pockets the Mafia has their hands in. Alright, let's head back to the SSS and see what Chief Sergei has to say about everything. As much as I'd love for us to solve the case, the situation is starting to become larger than we can handle. You're right. Yeah, let's head back and see what the old man has to say for himself. Hello, Shanshan. So, how was your food? It's great stuff, right? Daddy's such a good cook. Thank you, Shanshan. Let's see, I don't think there's anything too important going on around the city. I think it's still too early to hang out with Michelle. Alright. Oh, is it time yet? Yeah, I guess it is. You could do this a little later, but now works. Excuse me, Michelle. We came back like you asked us to. So, what did you want to show us? I've been waiting for you. How cute of you to come running like a group of puppies when I call for you. If I recall correctly, you mentioned you had some kind of plan to measure our competency, right? You sure did recall correctly. If y'all are feeling up to the challenge, do you want to try taking a little test? A test? What kind of test, if you don't mind us asking? Oh, nothing too complicated. I'll pick out 10 questions at random from our test bank we use in the written portion of the bracer exam. That way I'll be able to know if you're at least as knowledgeable as a junior bracer if you manage to get all 10 of them right. However, if you were to fail, there will be no place for us to operate in Crossbell, where some of the greatest bracers have gathered. Am I correct? Man, talk about putting on the pressure. Oh, well that's just dandy, ain't it? You're gonna think we're a bunch of dumbasses if we screw this up. Oh, psh. Not at all. Not really interested in degrading you. It's not my style. Here's a tip for you. You can study the contents of the exam over at the public library in the administrative district. Simply put, I'm testing to see if you'll actually be worth your salt when it comes to helping out the average Crossbellan. So anyway, you guys up for the challenge? Sure, we'll give it a shot. Now that's what I'm talking about, baby. Yo, Lloyd, you sure about this? Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, honestly. We had to take similar exams back at the academy. And besides, it's almost like I'm running away if I back out of it now. It just doesn't feel right. I understand what you mean, and I agree. Likewise. Huh, I get where you're coming from. Screw it, let's do this. I like that feisty attitude. By the way, Lloyd, I get the impression that you're the leader of the group in a way. Want to take a crack at answering the questions on behalf of everyone else? Yeah, fine by me. Ooh, I love that look in your eyes. It's giving me the willies. Okay, boys, let's get this party started. Arvin wrote most of Michelle's dialogue. This quest is going to be an adventure. I think this is like one of the first things he ever wrote too, so he went a little ham on this one. Bracer Guild Receptionist Michelle's Test. Bracer General Education Examination. So this is the test that junior bracers take. And now the first question. This one will be a cute freebie to get you warmed up. As we all know, the Orbital Revolution brought forth the technological advancements of orbits to our continent. The question is, how many years ago did it occur? Approximately 50 years ago. I'm pretty sure it happened about 50 years ago, right? Bingo, right you are, my friend. Don't let it get to your head though. Remember, it was just a freebie. It's crazy to think about how much orbital technology has advanced in the last few decades. Back when I was a little kid, I would have never imagined riding in something as fancy as an orbital car. It seemed like something straight out of some fairy tale. Phew, that's one hurdle down. Anyway, on to the next question. Question numero 2. The driving force behind the orbital revolution was all thanks to one man's prototype orbment. This one's another gimme, but who is the creator of said orbment? Professor C. Epstein. I know this one. It's Professor C. Epstein. Huzzah! You got the right answer. Did you know that people were skeptical of his invention at first? They probably thought it was some kind of sorcery at the time. Once people began to realize just how gosh darn convenient they are, they quickly became an integral part of our daily lives. The Epstein Foundation has made great efforts towards the research and adoption of orbital technology. That much is common knowledge. In fact, the orbital staff I use for combat testing is also for research purposes by the Foundation. Oh yeah, Tio totally mentioned that she's employed by the Epstein Foundation. That was a close call. She probably would have given me an earful if I screwed that one up. Enough chit-chat, next question. We all know that quartz are the key component to any orbital device, right? And to synthesize quartz, you need sepith. And when I talk about sepith, what specific form of septium am I referring to? Processed septium, septium crystals, septium fragments. I believe they're septium fragments. Oh, heck yeah, you got that right, buddy boy. Septium fragments are refined into quartz, which we then use in our orbital devices. Monsters are inherently attracted to septium, so they often end up munching on sepith. Defeating critters is an easy way to obtain sepith, so keep that in your back pocket. So far so good. These questions are all common sense. It's time to prepare for question 4. Our fave pal, the Erebonian Empire, lies to the west. Its important and overwhelming existence can be felt by all of us Crossbellans. I imagine you've probably seen their emblem before. Can you recall what the symbol of Erebonia is? I believe it was the golden stallion, right? Nay, is what I'd say if you were wrong, but you're right. Damn Mervin. It's no secret that the pride of the Erebonian Empire lies in its unmatched military prowess. That being said, the golden stallion symbolizes their aforementioned military prowess. There used to be an order of knights in the Empire known as the Eisenritter. They were known for employing cavalry, so that's probably why they adopted the golden stallion as their emblem. Nice, managed to maneuver my way through that. We're almost halfway there, 6 more questions to go. A nation known as the Calvard Republic sits directly to the east of Crossbell, diametrically opposing the Erebonian Empire. It's no exaggeration to state that Crossbell's entire existence is reliant on the long-term struggle for power between Erebonia and Calvard. With that being said, do you know the name of the primary manufacturer of orbital and heavy weaponry for the Republic? Oh, this one's easy. It's the Vern Company. Looks to me like you had Vern in your vernacular. The Calvardian Vern Company and the Erebonian Reinford Company are famed as the 2 largest manufacturers of orbital weaponry. However, it is a disservice to only attribute their contributions to weaponry. They're also responsible for the development of vehicles, appliances, and plenty of other nifty items. Phew, another one down. You started rambling for a bit, but I'm glad I got it right. Looks like we've made it a little past the halfway point now. You are giving a valiant effort. Nice job, leader. If you keep this up, I'm sure you'll have no problems plowing through the rest of it. I'm thoroughly impressed, Lloyd. I wasn't expecting this from you. Thanks, Ellie. Come on, guys. Aren't you laying on the compliments a bit too thick there? The questions were all fairly basic, weren't they? Well, regardless of how well you're doing, you've still got 5 questions left, buckaroo. I think you've had enough time to warm up, so it's time I up the ante. I hope you're ready. Shall we begin? It's time for the 6th question. A catastrophic event known as the Great Collapse befell our continent a long time ago. This disaster resulted in the complete loss of civilization and fractured people into different factions that waged war on one another for many centuries to follow. This period, now known as the Dark Ages, was eventually ended by one such faction that rose triumphant. They organized themselves to bring about order and justice to Zemuria, allowing for the rebuilding of society to begin. You probably know who I'm talking about, right? It was the Septian Church, wasn't it? Oh, thank Adios, you're correct. Around year 500 of the Septian calendar, the Septian Church emerged to spread the teachings of the sky goddess Adios. Their intent was to provide aid to those in need. The church's influence grew powerful enough to establish themselves across Zemuria, so the nobles who ruled during the Dark Ages could no longer ignore them. The effects of Adios and her teachings can still be felt firmly across the continent to this day, as they are deeply rooted in our society. Well, that went well. Anyway, on to lucky number 7. The headquarters of the Seppian Church is located in a city-state known as the Holy City of Arteria. The Holy City of Arteria is made up of various administrative organizations that handle specific tasks, giving it a state-like structure. Among these organizations is one that handles ceremonial rituals. Do you happen to know which organization I am referring to? Is it the Congregation for Divine Worship? Bingo! Good job! That was one tough cookie. Most priests found within churches and cathedrals across the continent are employed by this organization. There's actually a cathedral located outside of the northern exit of the city that I offer the occasional prayer at. Oh, and the priest working there is also employed by the Congregation for Divine Worship. Phew, that was really tough. Can you feel the burn? We're almost there. On to the 8th question. As we all know, the Bracer Guild has branches all across the continent. But what I really want to know is, just where in the heck are the main headquarters located? It's in Le Mans State, obviously. You're Le Mans, 'cause right you are. God damn it, Arvid. Our headquarters can be found in Le Mans State, alongside our biggest investors, the Epstein Foundation. In the event of a serious conflict, HQ can issue a direct order for all bracers to mobilize. Huh, I see. Time for the 9th question. You ever heard of that infamous thief that lives in Erebonia? He's a bit of a strange one. He steals precious works of art and then sends out calling cards with riddles on them to retrieve them. Also, his identity is hidden behind a mask. Apparently, people laud him as some kind of hero. Sounds more like a sadist to me, though. Anyway, I got a little off track there. Do you know what name this fellow likes to go by? I've actually heard of him before. Wasn't his name Phantom Thief B? Unbelievable! You got it right! Looks like you've done your foreign affairs homework. His infamy transcends the confines of Erebonia, as people across the continent have heard of his misdeeds. Nothing is safe from his grasp either. He's stolen anything ranging from rare paintings in museums to a whole friggin' tank. Rumor has it that he was recently running amok in Liberl. Who knows? Maybe you'll run into him sooner than you think. Yeah, I've definitely heard rumors. I'd like to avoid him if possible, though. It's time for the 10th and final question. Erebonia and Calvard have been at each other's throats over the rightful ownership of Crossbell State for a while now. They've waged war against each other time and time again, causing grief and bloodshed for many innocent civilians. The situation became so severe that it was brought to the attention of Liberl's Queen Alicia. She proposed a treaty to end the conflict between the two nations. The treaty was signed 2 years ago by 3 nations: Liberl, Erebonia, and Calvard. If you're truly Crossbellan, then the answer to this question should be a no-brainer, right? What was the name of the treaty signed by the 3 nations? If I remember it well, it was a non-aggression pact. In fact, I should change that up just because it asked for the name rather than what kind of treaty it was. So this version of it would be not a non-aggression pact, but the non-aggression pact in capitalizations. And non-aggressive it was. That one should have been a gimme. The treaty was drafted with the intention of diffusing conflicts between any of the 3 nations via diplomacy, as opposed to war. Prior to the signing of the treaty, anxiety was at an all-time high in Crossbell State. I'll spare you most of the details, but both nations' armored divisions thought it appropriate to hold simultaneous military exercises at our borders. One single misstep could have had catastrophic consequences. I'm sure it would have triggered a full-scale war between the 2 of them. And so, Queen Alicia proposed this treaty as a means of preventing that from happening. We should be extremely grateful to Liberl for saving our hides. No way was I going to get that one wrong. Aw, it's finally over. I was having so much fun. Good job getting through that. Oh, thank Adios, it's finally over. Why don't we take a look at your score then? Why are you gulping, Lloyd? You already know how well you did. Wowza, a perfect score. Your knowledge is in line with our junior... Oh, that's right. I already fixed this typo. Our junior bracers. And I went through Google Sheets spell checks, as some of you know, like right before 1.0. Google Sheets is not perfect. We know that sometimes it just like brain farts and it doesn't recognize typos when it should. It sucks. But it'll be fixed in 1.02, a proper 1.02. Looks like you got some potential in you after all. Oh, well, that's relieving to know. Thank you very much. Wow, didn't think he'd compliment me straight up. Dude, I was clenching my cheeks the whole way through. I'm glad I could finally take a breather. I'm surprised Lloyd managed to answer questions outside of his area of expertise too. I think I will ask him to assist me with filling in missing information for the database. You guys are embarrassing me. Anyway, I've got a cute little treat for the doggy who managed to bark out all the correct answers. Action 1. Oh, wow. Are you sure we can have this? Yep. I didn't think you stood a snowball's chance in Gehenna of doing so well, so think of this as an apology for my ignorance. It's all yours now, sweetie. Take it. Well, if you say so, thanks a lot. Well, this concludes our little game. Y'all better bust your backs making sure you don't drag us down, alright? Yes, sir. We'll do everything we can. Has anyone's whereabouts changed? I don't think so. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, Lynn and Aeolia being here is new, right? Because the first time it's Scott and Wenzel. Yeah, new scene. Oh, I think I know you guys. You're so cute! I beg your pardon? Are you referring to me? Well, obviously. That refined and mature aura, combined with those large childlike eyes being contrasted with your thin, luscious lips. I can't take it anymore. What the hell am I supposed to do, Lynn? Can I take her home? Can I? Your creepy habits keep scaring away the kids whenever you first meet them, Aeolia. We just got back from a job, so I think you should dial it back a bit, okay? Hey, forget about her. You can take me home any day of the week, baby. Yeah, no, you get a hard pass from me. Damn, didn't stand a chance, did I? Well, I'm certainly surprised from the stark contrast between your graceful appearance and your vivid personality. Are you two affiliated with the guild? Indeed. And might you all be with the special support section? So you've heard of us? Yeah, Michelle gave us the heads up already. You guys are pathetic. How's it feel to get saved by Arios on your first mission? Doesn't look like we can rely on the police quite yet. You've still got a long road ahead of you. I'm not surprised that a bunch of hacks work like, well, a bunch of hacks. That was awfully rude, wasn't it? We'll keep that in mind. We got fucking roasted. I love this about Zero. Like, some people have been kind of shocked to be like, wow, people really treat the SSS bad at the start of the game. It's like, yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point, is that we're knockoffs. The SSS are just bogus bracers. And I love the fact that they get dunked on so hard for being that. Status confirmed. She is a formidable enemy. Yeah, Aeolia loves Tio. It's great. So, Lynn, Aeolia, Wenzel, Scott, and Arios comprise the bracer team here in Crossbell. First, let's report into Fran. We get support requests. Points for that. Thank you, Fran. Pretty sure that's it for the entire prologue. I think it's just these 4. Prologue's not super long. It's really just this one case we're working on. Oh, you're back already. Managed to stop those delinquents? Well, about that. We think this situation might be a bit more complicated than you expected. How so? Lloyd explained everything that happened and laid out all the facts for Chief Sergei. Interesting. Chief? Alright. I'll leave the case to you then. Wait, what? What do you mean by that exactly? Whether you're willing to continue the investigation is entirely up to you. You won't be getting any information regarding Ravache out of me. You'll have to dig for it on your own. But that doesn't make any sense. If I told you to stop the investigation, won't you follow my orders? What? If the Mafia really is involved in this, things are only going to get nastier. As your supervisor, the most logical step is to order you to close the case immediately. Now, is that what you want me to do? No. If we gave up now, I'm pretty sure we'd regret it down the road. Randy's right, especially after coming this far. I agree as well. Alright then. I doubt I'd be able to rest easy knowing you kids are getting beaten up by the Mafia. So I'll do you a favor and introduce you to a trusty consultant of mine. A consultant? Sergei handed over a business card to Lloyd. Grimwood Law Office? Something about that rings a bell. It's a law office located over on West Street. It's run by a bearded lawyer named Ian. Oh, near the bakery, right? I definitely ran across him a couple of times when I used to live in the area. I've heard of him too. Mr. Grimwood provides consulting services to corporations and other businesses, right? He also frequently offers legal consultations to ordinary citizens, I think. Spot on, Ellie. Because of that boxed beard and build, he looks like a genuine bear. People often refer to him as Grizzly Grim. He probably has loads of info on the Mafia. Who knows? He might even have new intel that even the CPT doesn't know. Really? That's quite impressive. Just what kind of guy is this lawyer? You'll find out when you meet him. I've spoken with him previously about SSS-related matters. He'd at least let you finish explaining why you're there if you tell him you're the Special Support Section. This is the perfect opportunity for a little meet and greet. Understood. I'll check in with him. West Street is just around the corner. Everyone okay with paying this law office a visit? Of course. Shall we head out? Alright, to West Street. This is why I didn't bother going into Grimwood Law earlier. As we were going to go in eventually no matter what. Whoa, I went right between Ryu and Henri there. Grimwood Law Office. I believe this is the place. Yeah, I've seen the lawyer who runs it in the neighborhood before. I had no idea he was well known, though. Well then, Mr. Grimwood. I'm sure we'll speak again in the near future. Of course, I'll be here anytime you need me. Shouldn't your division try to do something to solve the situation, though? Think about the impact that this will have on the citizens. Kissing the asses of the populace isn't my job, nor do I intend on it ever being. You four are... What's wrong? That's right. You're those pups that Sergei decided to adopt. Come again? Hold on, that badge. You work in the CBD too? Who I am isn't important to you. I imagine you're here to speak with Ian about something. A word of advice, try not to waste his time. Unlike you useless rookies, he's a busy man. What did you just say? Jeez, what's his problem? He looked like a detective from one of the investigative divisions. His ego is overbearing. Glasses definitely ain't a greenhorn, that's for sure. Could tell by that weapon strapped to his left hip. Seriously? I didn't even notice. Impressive observation, Randy. I detected it with my sensors. A specialized military-grade handgun, I believe. Yeah, sounds about right. Dang, guys. Him saying dang is so Zerker. You two are amazing. I just managed to scope it out in the corner of my eye. More importantly, shouldn't we head inside and greet the lawyer? Oh, I nearly forgot. I feel kind of bad bothering him if he's as busy as that man said. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Forget something, detective? Oh, pardon me. I mistook you all for someone else. Welcome to the Grimwood Law Office. How can I help you today? Oh, no need to hold back. If you have a question, ask away. Then again, you four look quite young. Do you have questions about loans? Or perhaps you're looking for potential business partners? Come now, ask me anything. No, sir, it's nothing like that. This guy's got a lot of energy. So this is the famous Grizzly Grim. I see the rumors are true. Hold on. Now that I've taken a closer look at you, I can't help but feel as if I've seen you somewhere before, young man. Are you one of the kids that used to live in this neighborhood? Wow, you remember me? You're right. I lived in one of the apartment complexes here about 3 years ago. Allow me to properly introduce myself. My name is Lloyd Bannings. You did live here. Yes, that explains why you look so familiar. Wait. Bannings? Then you're Guy Bannings' younger brother? Huh? Yeah, I am. You knew my brother then? More than just knew him, we... Never mind. I suppose you're here to discuss something important. Come on in. You can fill me in on the details once we take a seat. Oh, and where are my manners? I'm Ian Grimwood, lawyer and owner of this law firm. I see. I was wondering when I would meet that special support section Sergey was telling me about. I actually read about you in the most recent issue of the Crossbell Times. You certainly showed diligence and spunk right out of the gate, didn't you? It sounds like our first job might have been a little exaggerated. So, Guy's younger brother is a police officer now too. Oh, how time flies. I can only assume this is Adios as well. Mr. Grimwood, what sort of relationship did you have with Guy? Well, the same one you and I will have. Guy used to drop by occasionally to share and exchange all sorts of information with me. But as I'm sure you know, he was an incredibly talented detective. I'd wager he helped me far more than I was able to help him. Please, wait a minute. Lloyd, your older brother is a detective? The hell, man? Why didn't you tell us about him? Sorry, guys. I guess it never really crossed my mind. Besides, Guy's not with us anymore. Not with you? He was killed in the line of duty. About 3 years ago now. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lloyd. That explains why you left Crossbell. My deepest and most sincere condolences. Believe it or not, I've conducted my own investigation into that particular incident. Sadly, any leads that may exist to elude me. I see. Well, let's just forget about his case for now. It's not why we're here. Mr. Grimwood, I've already laid out our case for you. If you have any information pertaining to Ravach and its activities, please tell us. Ravach, That unsavory group is nothing but bad news. Illegal dealings with both the Empire and the Republic, the selling of stolen goods, mirror laundering, weapons trafficking, operating as the middleman for hiring Jaegers, and that doesn't come close to scratching the surface of their crimes. However, no matter what sort of illegalities they've committed, the fact remains that they were able to take advantage of Crossbell's very unique situation. What do you mean by unique situation? What he means is, while trade and commerce have grown exponentially over the past few years, Crossbell's political foundation has begun to quickly deteriorate, right? Well put. Crossbell and politics are currently in an extremely fragile state. The majority of politicians choose to align themselves with either the Empire or a Republic, and are nothing more than greedy, power-hungry leeches. There's even a bill circulating within the Diet that cracks down on the Mafia, but it won't be approved. Too many Diet members are connected to Ravach. Are you serious? Unfortunately, he is. The number of Diet members tied to the Mafia is higher than I want to admit. That is probably the reason why the police can't touch them. Reality truly can be cold and cruel. Does that mean Ravach can commit any crime they want with no repercussions? No, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. If they don't control themselves, they would end up angering a majority of Crossbellans and our surrounding nations. Therefore, Ravach has been treading a very thin line in order to avoid directly interfering with the citizenry's daily lives. And as long as they don't cross that line, the police can't lay a finger on them. You may wonder why they constantly look down on people. Well, that's your answer. This can't be real. Reality ain't so pretty. Behind the city's glamorous facade are shadows hell-bent on stirring up trouble. Yes, I'm curious as to how many classified police documents detail these activities. Anyway, that's essentially all I know about Ravach. However, I need to mention that the situation with Mafia has taken a turn. Really? Could you explain? Well, according to intel the CPD just received, a new faction strong enough to rival Ravach has finally surfaced. And I don't doubt that strength. A new faction? Surely it's not the Bracer Guild, right? For all intents and purposes, the Bracer Guild is a positive establishment. This particular one I'm talking about, however, is less so. You see, there's a powerful organization that operates out of the Republic's eastern quarter, and it's already managed to worm its way into Crossbell. How is that possible? You're certain of this? Yes, previous rumors of this organization turned out to be true, so I have no reason to be skeptical now. They're called Heiyue. Just recently, a new commercial unit, registered under the name of Heiyue Trading, opened for business in the Harbor District. Heiyue. Quite the eastern name. This could potentially escalate to a brawl between the two mafias. The petty fights we've seen between the street gangs would be nothing compared to that. A calm before the storm, if you will. So far, neither group has had the audacity to make their struggle public. However, I would be surprised if they weren't already battling each other behind closed doors, using a variety of methods. The 1st Division seems to be keeping a close eye on the whole thing. You don't say. So the man with glasses who left right when we arrived was... Yes, that was Detective Dudley from the 1st Division. Coincidentally, he was asking me questions on the same topic. A coincidence indeed. Lloyd, what's wrong? You went quiet all of a sudden. Let me guess, you noticed something? Yeah. I still need time to sort it all out in my head, though. Thank you very much, Mr. Grimwood. Without your help, we wouldn't have been able to find the lead we needed to put this case to bed. That's so. I'm glad I was of assistance. Sergei has always been a tremendous help to me. So, from both a personal and moral standpoint, I support your work 100%. If you ever run into any problems, you can always stop by my office and have a chat. So, what's the next course of action? Should we go back and sort through all the information we've gathered? Good idea. But before we do that, now's the time to wrap up any unfinished business we still have to take care of. Besides, if what I'm thinking is the truth behind all these incidents, let's just say we're in for a bumpy ride, alright? I appreciate the modesty, but your face is giving away your confidence. Anyhow, let's head back to the SSS building once we crossed off everything on our bucket list. Sound good? Yes, it does. Let us make haste. And now we save. Right here. Oh yeah, did you notice that, let me grab the mouse. That this sign got changed from previous videos? It's now tallies with an apostrophe on the outside. Yeah, that was a change we made for reasons. Reasons that you might know. But unfortunately, someone goofed up. And that loading time was a little longer than I thought. Forgot that there was a logo inside as well. So it's still on the inside on the rug in here. Oops. Oh well, we'll fix that soon. I think it's technically already fixed, but we haven't built it in yet. So when we pick up next time, I think all we have to do is head over back to the SSS building. Sorry about that, Ryu and Henri. And, oh my god, they are so lively. And start going over the details of the case. I believe we're done with support requests, so we'll do that next time. And we'll wrap up the prologue. See you guys in the next one.